Millie and Christine McKoy. They were born into slavery. Immediately at 10 months old, they were sold. They were already born into slavery in a city called Whitesville, North Carolina, which says enough. They were conjoined at a 90-degree angle, so they were like side to side, and they would like have to walk in a sideways type of way. They sat specifically 90 degrees away from each other. A man would showcase them, and he had an agreement with their slave owner. They would split the proceeds of whatever showcases he did with them. A year after that, they were completely sold to a showman that was backed by a merchant, and so basically it was that same type of way where the showman took them on show, but the merchant is who actually owned them. He made a fortune off of the girls for a while, up until he was bamboozled by a Texas man that told him that he would give them land for the girls. He promised him deeds to some land in Texas for the girls, which honestly, that's what you get. Because what kind of sense does that make? Somebody telling you, I promise I got some land in Texas, but we're in North Carolina, and I'm gonna send you the deeds, but just give me the girls real quick. So that's his karma. So he basically lost the girls and had to go and tell the man that actually owned the girls. They were basically tossed around for a few years until the man that owned the girls would find them and reclaim them in Britain a few years later. When he would reclaim the girls in Britain, he would just bring his whole family and relocate to Britain. And when he relocated to Britain, he brought the girl's mother with them as well. And the Emancipation Proclamation would follow shortly after that. So the girls were technically free at that time, but we know that it took a while for people to gain their true freedom after the Emancipation Proclamation. But still, they were still being managed, okay? However, during this management, you could say that he treated them well. He gave them an education. He taught them 5 languages. He taught them how to sing and dance. However, this whole complete education was used to basically boost their showmanship, all right? The girls were successful in their freak shows in Britain. They were able to meet the queen, and they were even on the Bronham Circus. The girls would sing and dance. One would sing alto while the other sang in soprano, which would allow them to harmonize, as well as they would also be subjected to nudity to prove that their conjoinment was real and not just fake for show. The girls wrote their own kind of like diary memoir that was found and later formed into a book that you can buy, and it kind of gave us some firsthand experiences. And they would say that they were very clumsy very early in their life. They couldn't walk because of that 90-degree angle. They were kind of back to back, but they slowly learned how to kind of walk sideways, and that actually helped them in their dances. They created their own specific waltz and so on. The girls lived a very, successful life, even though they were put on show and sold early in their lives. Their father was able to buy farmland from the slave owner after the Emancipation Proclamation, and he would give it to the girls. So they would retire at the age of 30 and go back to North Carolina, live on that farm, and retire there and live there for the rest of their lives. I think it's so crazy that both of those conjoined twins were retired to North Carolina, and it was during that same time period after the Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation. I think that's just very ironic to me. Very interesting. I wonder if they knew of each other. I didn't see anything about that, but that's very interesting. They would die at the age of 61, so they lived very long, full lives. On their tombstone, it says, "A soul with 2 thoughts, 2 hearts that beat as one." So I think that's lovely. It seems like they had, a very successful and happy life, for the most part.